yours truly gets the call. It's called being the boss. That's cherry picking my game tonight. Looking forward to that one. That's going to be an electric atmosphere. I mean, we're not Gerard, calm down. We're not really bringing in buses of people.
South Range might, but it won't be our doing.
Yep.
I think so you're going to see a lot of pink tonight. It won't be a lot of burgundy and gold. The theme tonight is pink.
Is that what it is?
That's what they're going with.
For who? South Range?
South Range. Their student section Instagram tweeted out that the theme tonight is pink. And so I think that's probably what the girls chose. So you'll be seeing a lot of pink in the stands.
But there wasn't much white. I don't know. I mean, we never had themes. The theme was get the hell to the game. That was the theme.
Themes came after I was a student. By
any means necessary, get to the game. Doesn't matter what you wear. We don't care. You had to have clothing on. That was one prerequisite. But get to the game. Speaking of get to the game, we have our second interview coming up, Anthony, of the show today of YSN Live. And let me tell you something. This is a guy that has been in our corner since day one. This is a guy that has been chasing championships since day one. This is a guy that has cared about student athletes since day one. This is a guy that's kept it in the family since day one. This is a guy that's continued to just wrap his arms around the community at Heartland Christian and additionally jobs and opportunity at Heartland Christian. And his latest opportunity that he's grabbed for Heartland Christian is becoming a member of a conference. And oh, by the way, Anthony, winning their first ever conference championship in school history this past weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we are brought in by Josh Scott. Coach Scott, not a baby. Way to bring the conference home, buddy.
Hey, thanks, man. That was quite the intro. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're known for here. But you've got, I mean, that's quite the resume to have to read that intro. Some people, it's one-liners, right? Buddy, you're building on that resume continuously. Talk to me. We had you on when you joined the conference in the OVAC this past weekend. What was that like for you? I mean, this was your brainchild. This was an opportunity that you took for the school as the athletic director. And then to be able to be in that huddle, that picture for the first conference championship, what was all that like?
It was special. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's, I took a big leap of faith, no pun intended here at the school, at a Christian school, but I just felt in my heart that the kids needed a level playing field with everyone else in the area. And that means just having opportunity and not just playing games just to play games and, again, glorifying God like we try to do every single day. That's always a big part of it. But our kids needed an opportunity to be all conference, to play for a league title. And our volleyball team almost got it done too. They made the championship this year and lost a tough one to Conotton Valley in the fall. So we talked to our kids about, this is an opportunity like we had a few years ago to win the first ever state tournament game here at the school. It's just not an opportunity that comes around. It's very often. And we told our kids, like, this is something that you can do and you can talk about it forever. 40 years down the road, if we can accomplish this, it's something you're going to remember forever. And I think they will. The experience down there, the way that OVAC puts on that event, an all-day championship, watching those games, I believe all the games were close and competitive. The intros, the boards. I mean, I've got the championship board. This thing's a monster. I don't even know where we would fit it in our school. They really did it up, and we're just proud to be part of it. I mean, it's really special for us as a school.
Coach, every year before this season, the whole season was pretty much get ready for the tournament. Every game, make yourself better, get ready for postseason. Yep. What has it been like this year where you now have an obtainable goal before the state tournament even starts, where you can say, hey, we have this goal to check first. We want to win a conference. What has that been like to keep the kids motivated in that way? And what kind of differences have you seen in kind of the day-to-day routines and practices and games from your players?
We've been using the term lock in this year. We need to be locked in. And I think that's something that we're trying to tell the kids every single game matters now. You're putting it out on a resume, not just for the state tournament and for rankings and everything else, but, for the league. And we had games that actually did matter more in terms of points for our average where we in the standings of the league and everything else too. So it was new and different, but I think it excited the kids. They were able to truly lock in on that game and say, hey, this one here is, potentially worth X amount of points. I don't know that they fully understood it. I kept kind of beating it into their heads that like, hey, this is the opportunity we have in front of us playing in a big Salem or Youngstown East or whatever. And those games are, they're worth more to us as a conference team because of their size and everything and how they factor in their points. But it's been refreshing to be able to not just have to try to find ways to motivate kids just on the terms of just, hey, we got to get better today.
I think one of the things I love the most, and I say this about a lot of teams, but Josh, you specifically, you never back down from a fight. You will play a team any place, anywhere, anytime. It doesn't matter. South Range, a perfect example last night. You guys will play anybody because you firmly believe that playing better teams makes you a better team in the end, correct?
Yeah, no doubt. I think that's, it's something we've definitely tried to do. I mean, you've seen West Branch, Minerva, Salem, we've had a really good relationship with them. I'm sure we'll keep it up for next year too. And, Range was a good one. It was tough. It was our third game in 5 days. But our kids came out, and even though they might've been a step slower or whatever, because of the circumstances, they fought and, they just don't back down. And I think that's all from, the fact that we go and see some of these bigger schools and top-notch competition. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think we're all on board with that we don't want to shy away from competition and just, make a schedule that's just based around our best chance to win. It's our best chance to get better and be our best at the end.
Hey, nobody last night is going to tell you that your kids didn't play hard or that their legs were gone, because that first half of basketball, if anybody was able to watch it last night on YSN or you were in the gym, I've never seen a game like that it was just constant up and down the floor, shooting. I mean, was that part of the game plan, or was it just at one point you just kind of threw the game plan away and said, all right, let's just go play some street yard basketball and see what happens?
Yeah, I mean, that one, that was a pickup game late. I believe they lost Louisville, and we had lost Valley from West Virginia. We both had lost a game, and we kind of talked about it ahead of time. It didn't go exactly how we kind of talked it through, but it mostly turned into just competitive juices going in our kids. That's just who they are. Our kids are competitors. They want to go out and be excellent every day. And I think you saw that, because even before we're like, man, maybe we'll just not be ourselves and play some zone and walk it up and do those things. And I couldn't hold them back. I mean, even myself, as we started getting going, and kudos to Range, they shot lights out. They hit 11 threes in the first half. I mean, I told our kids that, if the team's going to do that, you just tip your cap to them and, hey, you were the better team for that night, and that's okay. But I do think that we have a lot to be proud about with our kids on, how they never stop. And that's if I'm never the guy that's just going to completely talk our team up all the time. I get called Lou Holtz a lot by a lot of different people, but I will never fault. I'll never not talk about how proud I am for their effort, because they're always going to work hard.
Great effort.
Coach, you celebrate at OVAC, and now the attention kind of turns into the tournament and the bracket that you're in. Talk about kind of the outlook and what you think, your initial thoughts of the bracket you're in, and what kind of things you think would take to win this district.
We're gonna have to be playing our best basketball. I mean, that's just bottom line. I mean, we got jumped by Elyria Open Door. They were the 16 seed. They had other places they could have went, but they chose our game round one. And we're trying to get our kids to understand that they're a good basketball team. Their record doesn't reflect that, but they like us play a monstrous schedule each year. So they've played some really good teams. They've played teams that we've played just as close as us. So if we're not playing our best basketball, it could be a one and done, and we understand that. So this whole week is just prep for them and trying to get our minds right and our bodies right. This was a really tough stretch of basketball that we just had. I mean, Wood County Christian even though the score doesn't fully indicate how hard we had to play to get it to where it was. Our kids sold out for that game, and then we used, like I told them in the interview down at the OVAC, was every last ounce of energy that we had, we put into that Frontier game. It took everything we had to sneak out a win and get a championship. And a lot of people don't fully realize how hard those things are to do, and just to win games in high school sports. I mean, to win games and have some sort of consistency, it's extremely difficult. And it takes just an extra gear and extra effort and extra focus. And now it's just tenfold come tournament. I mean, you have to be playing your best basketball, and we're hoping that we have the kids in that mode, and that we what we've been working on all season long is going to come to fruition. And that's what makes the tournament crazy. It's March Madness for a reason. I know it's February still, but they call it that for a reason. And anything could happen.
Josh, it's just us. Okay, nobody's watching. So this next question, I gotta ask, because you're one of the bigger competitors that I know,
okay.
And as you're talking about that, a team jumps you, right? And you're sitting there in the bracket, minding your own business, just doing I don't know what you do during the draw, but I'm imagining you're sitting there eating popcorn. You're already in there, and then somebody jumps you, right? Tell me that doesn't drive you crazy and like, oh, you want a piece of this, huh? Okay. Like I know you got to do a job here. You've got to wear one of your hats that your GM, your AD, your coach, your dad, all that. That's still going to drive you freaking bananas, does it not?
Yeah. The first reaction was sitting back in my chair and just like, okay, all right. So the very next day when we had practice, I went in and told the kids, hey, they jumped you for a reason, and they think that, and they believe that they're going to beat you, and they wouldn't do that if they wouldn't jump you if they didn't fully believe that. So, of course, that's extra motivation for all of us. I mean, it's something that, if you don't get the juices flowing after seeing that, then you're just, then what are we doing? I mean, this is sport. This is the competitive arena. And, again, we're always here to build character and disciple kids first. But when those things come about, like, absolutely, I'm excited at the opportunity to take advantage of that situation and say, hey, come on down, let's play.
Atta baby. That's exactly what I wanted from you.
Coach, you've been coaching for a while, and you've had different kids, different players come in, and they've all kind of brought their own personality into the group. What do you think this team has been unique about it? What do you think the personality and the kind of the leadership about this team, what's unique about it in your eyes? What makes it kind of a little bit different than other teams that you've had?
You know what? We were written off early in the year, going into the season. I think people thought that we would be okay. But when we lost Walker and Morgan and Rarick and another Walker and Streetfler, we lost 5 different seniors. Seth Walker transferred out to Canfield. We lost him. So we lost 6 guys, all varsity basketball players. So I think a lot of people thought, oh, they're going to take a step back. And these kids are young, they're hungry, and had a chip on their shoulder all season long about, we want to make our own mark. And that wasn't just a flash in the pan last year, that we're going to come in and we're going to follow that up with something even better. And I told our kids all along, with a league title, a potential league title on the line, an opportunity to, we snuck into that 4 seed. Everything that we could ever ask for in terms of lofty goals is still right in front of us. We've accomplished half of that, and everything we could ask for is still right in front of us. So I mean, I'm just proud at our resiliency, our determination, the grit. I mean, I think this team is really gritty. They don't back down. We are young, so we go through like ebbs and flows of the highs and lows that come with being young and not being able to kind of stay level all the time mentally. But man, when they do it right, this group, the sky's the limit. So I think that's what makes it special. Like last year, we were definitely very dependent on the 3 shot. I think we made 247 or 243 or something. It's somewhere on the state. Like we were top 20 all time in the state of Ohio, and we were heavily dependent on that this year. I looked the other day and like we're like 170 after maybe 20 games or whatever it is. So, you know, we don't rely so much on one thing. I think we're a little bit more multidimensional, and we have guys that can get to the rim. And, you know, I think we may even be a little bit more well-rounded defensively at times. So, you know, that's what's made all of those things is what made this year special. I mean, it's just when most of the people from the outside just kind of go, you know, they lost a lot, and I'm sure they'll be okay. We've heard those things, but that's also what's driven our kids too. So,
buddy, you've done everything very presidential. I mean, very like understanding. These kids come in, they understand. I shouldn't say kids. These young athletes come in, they understand who they're representing. Obviously, the school and all the principles that you teach there at Heartland Christian. But what has impressed me beyond belief is the cabinet that you've surrounded yourself with, the staff that you have on that bench. Man, it was a who's who last night as I'm looking down and I'm like, wow. Oh, and by the way, thanks for looking up and saying hi. That was, I reran that moment in my head about 800 times on the way home. And Chris sent me a message this morning as well. So just for you guys to be able to acknowledge me in that moment of, hey, we're locked in. It was so cool. Super cool. I mean, I was starstruck almost, and I'm not even exaggerating. It was so neat.
I don't know if you could say that. I was starstruck to be able to look up at you guys. I mean, again, what you guys have done, what you guys have done for sport, it's unprecedented. It's appreciated across the board. I know Coach B just, you know, mentioned it too, but we all feel that way. I mean, what you've been able to do to showcase our kids and give them so many opportunities that none of us had, it's special, man. We can't say thank you enough for all that.
Okay, thank you for that. We appreciate that. This isn't about us. Yeah. This is about you. Okay, so let's not flip the script. Let's talk about that cabinet that you have around you, that coaching staff, because I know each and every one of those people means so much to you in a special way, because you know that they're in it for those young men and those young ladies inside that school. What makes up your staff and why?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, Pops, my dad, he's been with me every step of the way. So that one goes without saying. I mean, he's phenomenal with the kids. He's a guy that just relates to kids and can get the best out of them. He's a motivator, and you know, Josh Samuda, coaching our JV team. He's played for us. Ronnie Matthews, who's still sticking around and doing junior high, and then coming to all the varsity games. He played for us here. Josh played for us at Sebring. They're guys that have seen firsthand what we feel is important and how we feel like we need to run our programs. So, and then getting Coach K, getting Cadvan, I've been trying for I don't know how many years now. This is year 6 at Heartland. I've probably been trying to get him all along. And Coach Lib too. I mean, Coach Lib's coaching the girls and still coming and sitting the bench for our games too. So, I mean, and he doesn't have to. He could claim to be too busy because he is, and he still finds ways to come in and impact kids. But Coach Cadvan, the most recent addition, he coached here for 1 year with the girls. I've been begging him for I don't know how long. He's been kind of behind the scenes the last couple years with film, but you know, he's a guy that there's a couple wins this year that we've walked away. My Pops and I have said we don't win that game without Coach K's help. And what he's brought to the table. And, you know, we try to, like, for me, I don't look at this as like a dictatorship. I look at it like this is a true team effort. And even in practice time, each one of those guys has opportunities that it's their time to, you know, go over defense or blobs or whatever it is that they have to do. So their impact, I would like to think, is probably a little greater than some others in other places. But I mean, I know that because I see it firsthand, but all of these guys care about kids, and that's really, you know, that's it. You know, we're not going to bring in anybody that if we didn't feel that was the number one goal for them is they care about kids. None of us have kids here. It's all about Heartland and about kids.
The OG Coach K. Don't let anyone tell you different, right?
The OG Coach K.
He likes candy bars. I know that.
Coach, yeah. I want my last question for you. I want you to go back in your memory banks because we've seen a lot of thrilling finishes over the weekend, and I know you've seen a lot of thrilling finishes as the coach at Heartland Christian over the last 6 years, and a lot of them have been on YSN. Is there any last second win, thrilling win that kind of sticks out to you that is the most memorable that you've had as a head coach?
Man, I don't know that I could pick one, but you're right. There's so many. I mean, this one winning the championship, close, and watching our young kids play like seniors was extremely special. It's probably up there with any of them because Frontier was a good team. It's a team that we didn't even know anything about outside of just trying to get a little bit of film. They play a different brand of basketball down there on the river and down south. I mean, it was basically a clash of two different, completely different styles of basketball. But I think back of Drew Galt hitting a 3 at the buzzer to beat Badger in Cleveland at I was almost going to say the Gund Arena. It dates me, but at Rocket Mortgage, I think of JB and the 3-pointer he hit here at home to beat JFK and the steal layup against Crestview and the Brookfield win. I think the Brookfield win in the sectional finals here when everybody went after Vertovich and Nate Garzanich makes a great pass to Stephen Barnes and he gets an and one layup, makes the free throw and Joel Morgan comes down and just clamps down. Joel Morgan, who was 5 foot nothing, just comes down and clamps down defensively on their guys and gets a stop and wins us a sectional title for the first time ever. I mean, there's just so many different memories here that I've been blessed to get to be a part of and just witness from the sideline. It's been honestly just a special experience, but to be able to just pick one, I don't know that I could do that.
All right. So you're not going to answer questions straight ahead. I'll give you one you have to answer straight ahead.
Okay.
It's Josh Scott's jukebox time. And you've got 3 songs that you have to put on the jukebox that will always be in there. And one song that'll never touch your jukebox. You'll never find it at Coach Scott's
3 songs
playing at the Gund Arena, apparently.
Playing at the Gun? I wouldn't play it at the Gun.
Wouldn't 3 that you would and 1 that you wouldn't?
You know what? It would probably be some kids song that I sing with my kids. I don't know. They love. Man, you're putting me on the spot to think of music. This time of year, the only music I hear is warm up music. So honestly, I'd probably pick anything that DJ JP Morgan plays for us to warm up. I know the big one has been 10K by KB. That's a fan favorite. And what is the Die with a Smile is my kid's current jam by Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga. So I mean that's one that we like to sing together. But anything that I could do with my kids, they love to sing on the way to school and that kind of thing. So that's probably outside of warm up music and getting a quick song and going to school and dropping them off. That's probably the only time I'm listening to music. Any other time it's on the phone with a coach or another AD. But a song that I wouldn't play at the Gund Arena. Oh man. I don't know that I have one that I just wouldn't play. I'm trying to think it through. You're putting me right on the spot, but
that's crazy. Usually the one that you wouldn't play comes first because people are like, I hate that song.
I feel like I have those, but yeah, I mean, when it comes to music, I know it's going to be a shock to you, but I really don't have I listen to everything. I don't care, I don't, but from rap to country to whatever, if it sounds good to me, to Christian, to Christian gospel, I listen to everything. There's probably some really twangy country songs that I would probably keep off of that. If I'm choosing, but yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. You're going to have to ask me another one. What's more direct than that? Is there another direct question that you can ask me?
What's your favorite episode of Bluey?
My favorite episode of Bluey. What's it called when Bingo falls asleep and is dreaming and he goes to the moon and mom's kind of.
Oh, that's a tearjerker, dude.
It's a tearjerker, man, but I love it. I mean, it's a special episode. Yeah.
Did you honestly think that you were going to come on the show and we were going to talk Bluey?
With you guys, I never know what to expect. That's what makes it fun.
Coach, we appreciate you.
I was prepping for Coach Bordemus like answer for taking my family somewhere. Because
see, I saw your little head pop up in the bottom. And I was like, he's taking notes. He's ready to go.
What a great answer. What a great answer, because our families, and I'll add to that, our families take such a hit over the course of the season, and we lose time with kids. I was actually talking to Coach K, the original OG Coach K, about that, and he's kind of had to pick and choose when he's coming as an assistant, because Claire and Elliot are young, just like JJ and Josie, and and Coach Z just had a baby too, so everyone's in this boat of we're trying to figure this out. Yeah, Nicholas in November, he's navigating through a basketball season as a brand new dad. So, but yeah, I mean, all those, when my daughter looks up with those big puppy eyes and is all sad that I have to walk out, and I know Coach K's dealing that with Claire, and I'm dealing with Josie, and it's hard to walk away from your family to come in and do these things, but they know it's important and they know why we're doing it. And I think at the end of the day, I hope years down the road they're gonna understand that the hope is that we've made a big enough impact, and they're here being ball boy and ball girl, and they're here practice, and they're getting to experience things. But yeah, if you would have asked me that, I would have said I'd have taken my ticket to vacation. And
you don't get to answer Coach B's questions. You get your own questions that you can't answer.
He found a way to just answer it without even it being asked.
Your kids aren't puppy-eyed because you're leaving. I'm sure they are, but they're puppy-eyed because you're putting tear-jerking Bluey episodes on.
Let's
dude.
watch
Come
this
on.
episode of Bluey real quick.
There's 99% of Bluey episodes are awesome and great, and then there's the one that's like you're gonna cry your eyes out because of traumatic stress from your childhood, and that's the one you got on rewatch. Come on, Josh. I love you, buddy.
Just appreciate that as a parent, though, huh?
I love you, buddy. You mean the world to me. I'm grateful for you. Congratulations on the conference championship. All your success.
Thank you.
Continued, brother. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Scott. See you, buddy. Thanks for coming.
You guys. We'll see.
Those are this is what I love about what we do, is we can have those real moments.
Right.
Like, I'm at the very interesting level, right? Because I a lot of these coaches I can connect with because we're in the same stages of life. Mm-hmm. That's why when you ask a question like he couldn't answer the jukebox question, Josh, God love him, because he does listen to a lot of music. I do know that. But as soon as I say, what's your favorite Bluey episode? It was like he cheated. It was on the top of his head. He was like,